Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Bowman again. It's so good to be back with you. I hope you are continuing to be safe due to COVID-19. Remembering to wear your mask, boys and girls. Wear your mask covering your nose and your mouth whenever you go out. Always remember to wash your hands. How long, boys and girls? For 20 seconds. Do a really good job and wash your hands all the time. All right? Wear your gloves and remember to social distance, boys and girls. You don't want to be in a crowd. We just have to be safe during these times, boys and girls, during COVID-19. Well, Mrs. Bowman, look forward to the day that we get back in our church and back in our classroom, and you get to see all of your teachers, Mrs. Wilson, Dr. Durant, Dr. House, Ms. Kaysen. We all look forward to seeing you again in our classroom. But until then, we are going to continue on, and Mrs. Bowman are going to give you the stories. So today's story is Jonah Learns to Obey. But before we get started with the story, let's start with prayer. You repeat after me, boys and girls. Dear God, we praise your wonderful name. Help us to do what you want us to do and give us the food we need to eat each day. Keep us from doing things that are wrong and help us to forgive those who do wrong things to us. May you have all the power and the glory forever. Amen. Good job, boys and girls. Now let's get started with a song. Let's do a song. And if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet, boom, boom. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet, boom, boom. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet, boom, boom. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen, amen. If you're happy and you know, shout amen, amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen, amen. If you're happy and you know it, do them all. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, amen. If you're happy and you know it, do them all. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, do them all. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, amen. Good job, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed that song. Let's do another song. I've got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. I got the love of Jesus down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I got the love of Jesus down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. I got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. I got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. Good job, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed those songs. I know I did. So let's get ready for our story. So our story today is Jonah Learns to Obey. Obeying is very good, boys and girls. You must obey. You must obey your parents. You must obey your grandparents. You must obey your teachers. You must obey your babysitters. It is very important to obey and do what you know is right to do. What mommy and daddy has taught you to do. Because mommy and daddy has taught you what is right and what is wrong. So always will do what is right. So here's Jonah. And God told Jonah to go to a place called Nineveh. And Nineveh was a place that God wanted Jonah to go and tell the people of Nineveh to love God and to obey God. But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. He didn't like those people down in Nineveh. They weren't very nice people. They didn't love God, and they were enemies of the people of Israel. So Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. So Nineveh was this way, and Jonah went that way. He didn't do what God asked him to do. He disobeyed God. And you know what? God knew that Jonah was going to disobey. You see, God knows what you're going to do, boys and girls. He knows what you're thinking, sometimes even before you know it. So God knows what you're doing. You can't hide from God. So Jonah, he went another way, and he found a boat. And he got on that boat, and he hid way down in the bottom of the boat, boys and girls. And the boat took off, going another direction. Then, you know, when you disobey, sometimes you get punished. And so God brought up a big storm. And I want you to see this storm, boys and girls, because it was raining. Can you see that? Can you see that big boat in the water? And it was raining and raining and raining. And there was thundering and lightning. And the waves was crashing up against the boat and crashing up against the boat. And everybody was afraid. They thought the boat was going to fall apart. The captain couldn't believe, oh my goodness, and the people couldn't believe that is this boat going to fall apart? Well, the captain was walking around and he found Jonah in the bottom of the boat sleeping. And he says, what are you doing sleeping? The boat is about to fall apart. Get up, wake up, and pray that the boat doesn't fall apart. And then the captain was like, who are you? Who are you? And Jonah said, I'm Jonah. And I know why it's raining and thundering and the winds was blowing really hard, boys and girls, and waves was crashing up against the boat. He says, I know why God is doing that. God's upset with me because I disobeyed him. I didn't do what God asked me to do. And the captain couldn't believe that Jonah didn't do what God asked him to do. Because everybody knows that you're supposed to obey God. So Jonah said, you know, I know this is all my fault. I don't want the boat to fall apart. Just take me and throw me off the boat. Throw you off the boat? Just throw me off the boat and the storm will stop. Well, the captain didn't want to throw Jonah off the boat. He knew that he threw Jonah off the boat, that Jonah would drown, he would die. And he didn't want Jonah to die. But they were so afraid, and the rain was coming down so heavily, and they just didn't know what to do. And so they got Jonah, and they threw Jonah off the boat. But God didn't want something to happen to Jonah either. Because even when you disobey, doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. All right? He still loves you, but he wants you to do what is right. So God had a big fish, a big whale to come by. And when they threw Jonah off the boat, he went into the whale's mouth. And he stayed in the whale's belly for 3 days and 3 nights. And Jonah was so afraid. He was so sorry that he had not obeyed God. He started to pray and ask God to forgive him for not obeying him. And God heard Jonah's prayer, and he decided to forgive Jonah. So he had the whale to spit Jonah out of its mouth. He spit Jonah out of his mouth and put Jonah on dry land. Then Jonah decided to do what God told him to do, and which was to go to Nineveh and tell the people of Nineveh to love God and to obey God. So Jonah went straight to Nineveh, and he told the people to love God and obey God. And guess what, boys and girls? They listened to Jonah. They decided to love God and to obey God, because this is very important to obey, boys and girls. Obeying God is a way of showing God that you love him. So it's very important to obey. Obey your parents. Obey your grandparents. Obey your teachers. This is a good thing, because when you obey and you do things that are right, then your parents are going to be happy and your teachers are going to be happy, and sometimes you even get a reward. But when you disobey, then you may get punished. And when parents punish you, that doesn't mean that they don't love you, boys and girls. They do love you, but they want you to remember to obey. So sometimes you have to get punishment. Sometimes you may get something taken away from you that you really wanted to do, perhaps with your friends. So remember to obey and do those things that are right. And then mommy and daddy will be happy. And teachers will be happy. And maybe you just might get a reward. Wasn't that a wonderful story? Now let's see, who was listening? So what did Jonah learn to do, boys and girls? That's right. He learned to obey. It is very important to obey. And when you obey, what does that show God? That shows God how much you love him. All right? When you obey your parents and your teachers, that shows them how much you love them and respect them, boys and girls. So it's very important to obey. Wow, that was a wonderful story. Let's close with prayer. You pray with me, boys and girls. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Good job, boys and girls. And remember, boys and girls, if you know someone who's really sick right now and you want to say a special prayer for them, get with mommy and daddy and tell them, I want to say a special prayer for that person, and tell God to heal them and make them well real soon. Also, boys and girls, remember, if you want some of your friends to listen to Mrs. Bowman tell the story, tell them to go to YouTube and search Sunday School Class Yolanda Bowman. And they too can listen to the story, boys and girls. Well, I was so happy to be with you again, and I'll see you again next time.